Hello, everyone. I just want to share something with you that I heard the other day, and I thought it would be beneficial for you to hear. It's about problems. Now, many people view problems as a disaster, a real disaster, that when it happens, to them it's the worst thing in the world that could ever happen. But I want you to take a different view as you listen, and I want you to consider why you should be thankful for your problems. Consider also three J names from the Bible: Joseph, Job, and Jesus. Now, as you consider them and think about their stories and the problems that they themselves faced, I want you to focus on whatever it is you're going through. Think about it, not focus. Sorry, do not focus, but think about it. Do not focus on the big P, the problem. Instead, I want you to release your emotions to God and allow Him to help you to focus on these four P's that I'm about to tell you. Presence. The first one is presence. Think about your problems with the thought that God is present there with you. God is going through that situation with you. He is there. He knows what you're going through, and He is there to help you through it. So focus on God's presence. Number two, focus on purpose. God's purpose. What is God's purpose? Why did God allow this thing to be happening to me? God has a purpose for this problem that you are encountering right now. And as you go through it, thinking that God is there with you and it has a purpose, I want you to remain faithful to God, remembering that no matter what you face in life, good, bad, or indifferent, God is the one who is in control. So as you release it to Him, you are giving Him full control. And I want you to keep your integrity. Continue to surrender to Him. The third P is perspective. I want you to realize that God is shifting you and He's shifting your perspective so that you can realize that there is a bigger picture, there is a bigger purpose, and you need to remain positive. God is shifting you from the state you're in to a higher level. The fourth P, promotion. I want you to realize that no matter what it is you're going through, no matter how hard it seems, promotion is on its way. God is about to promote you like He did Joseph, Job, and Jesus. Remember, problems are hidden treasures, blessings, if you may call them. They're not there to destroy you, but they are there, as opportunities for God to shine through you and help others around you too. And I want you to also realize that as you go through your problems and as you release them to God, you cannot do it alone. So this is why you are trusting God. This is why you are releasing them to God. Joseph acknowledged that God was still present when Potiphar's wife came after him, and so he chose to keep his integrity. And even when he went into prison, he still realized that even though he was locked up for 2 years, and even though he gave the interpretations to the other prisoners, the baker, the wine taster, God still had a purpose for him, and he kept his integrity. From Potiphar's house to the prison, he kept his integrity. from his father's house to the pit. Notice the P's again. From his father's house to the pit, to Potiphar's house, to prison. He kept his integrity and he realized that God had a bigger purpose, a bigger plan for him. He realized God's presence was still with him, and so he kept his integrity. Job, on the other hand, when he lost all his children and assets, then his wife told him to curse God and die. Plus, his friends also accused him of sinning. He acknowledged that God was still present and that there was a bigger purpose for what he was going through. Realize that what you're going through has a bigger purpose. Yes, a bigger purpose. So keep your integrity. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Keep your focus on God and not the problem. Job received 10 times more than what he had before because he kept his eyes, his focus on God. He remained in God's presence. He realized his purpose, and he and Joseph also changed their perspective from focusing on the problem to focusing on the bigger picture. Jesus, on the other hand, while he was on earth and just before he was crucified, he felt so overwhelmed with all our sins, the sins of men. He felt overwhelmed, but in the midst of that overwhelming state, and if you are honest, you'll agree that sometimes you're going through some problems and it is so overwhelming. You feel like giving up, but Jesus did not give up. Instead, what did he do? He instead turned his focus to his Father and he prayed. Another P for you. Pray through your problems. Pray through your problems. Press and pray through your problems. Another P. I didn't come to say the pray nor the press, but God is just bringing them up. And as the Spirit brings it up, even so am I saying, pray and press through your problems. Jesus instead prayed and pressed, saying, Father, not my will, but thine be done. God, he realized that it was his Father who was in control. It was his Father who would change things around, give him the strength that he needed to press through. It was his Father that would make the difference. And so he chose to press and pray. Our problems were upon him, but yet he pressed. Our sins overwhelmed him, but yet he pressed and prayed. We all haven't felt or been through anything as tough as this, yet Jesus surrendered all. Whatever he was feeling, the weight of it all, he surrendered to his Father. And so should we. We need to surrender to God. Now, I want you to do one thing before I leave. After you finish listening to this, I want you to go and read the stories of all these trendsetters. The stories of Joseph in Genesis, the story of Job in Job, and the story of Jesus in the New Testament. And I want you to remember, try to focus on God and not your problem. I came to tell you about 4 P's, but God added 2 while I was talking. God's presence, focus on God's presence, focus on the purpose, your purpose and the purpose of the problem. Focus on perspective. What is God's perspective? What perspective does God want me to have as I go through this problem? Pray. Pray through your problems as you experience them. Pray through them. Press through them. There's an acronym PUSH. Pray until something happens. Push through. And the final one, promotion. Remember, at the end of this problem, when you have completed this task or when you have gone through this problem, you will be promoted. Promotion is around the corner. So press through. God bless you.